watching Clips, the best moments from our live streams every Monday and Friday. Don't miss out. Watchale. I got to thinking about our society and what is the function of comedy, and what is comedy, what makes great comedy. Some people, we're spewing out some goofy definitions of comedy on uh on on X and all that stuff. It's like, well, comedy is a if it is racist, then it's funny. That's comedy. It's like, no, no. It actually has nothing to do with if you're telling a racial joke, a societal joke, a personal joke, a familiar joke. Comedy is the incongruity of the situation. That's it. And the more incongruous of that situation, the funnier it is. And sometimes it's going to hurt. Sometimes you're going to get offended. That's the whole point sometimes of comedy. Yes, also to laugh. But here in the last 24 hours, everyone is thinking about the island of Puerto Rico. And a lot of people have done some research and read up. It's like, oh, there is some problems that are going on in Puerto Rico. Well, maybe Tony wasn't a POS after all, and he brought some stuff to light. Now, I understand that people get offended. Comedy does that all the time. But then I go back to the old days. When I say old days, I'm talking about when kings had a court. You had the sergeant at arms, the queen. You had all the the what do you call it, the high class, whatever, the nobles, the lords. But the king never trusted any of those guys. Who do you trust? The court jester. And what did the court jester do? He always shot it straight. And how did he shoot it straight? Is because he knew that the king trusted him. And he would never let down the king. The king might not like what he has to say. Sometimes he laughs, sometimes he cries, sometimes he's mad. But he always knew that the court jester rang true. And sometimes our court jesters will ring true when it hurts, when it sucks. I don't like it. Timing, the place. None of that. None of, those are all valid arguments. They really are. But at the end of the day, like freedom of speech, like any of our freedoms, the incongruity of the situation doesn't wait for you to feel good about it. It just happens. And that happened. Right? And that's all we're talking about. Yes, there were other great speeches and people of different backgrounds getting up there, but now you get to see how our societies react in the last 24 hours. And it's absolutely fascinating. Friends of mine spewing expletives. I've never seen people react and behave a certain way. That's all right. That's their right. That is your right. Cooler heads always prevail. And it's those ones that can dissect a comedian's or comedians. We're talking about comedy. A comedian's performance and what they're saying, and put it to the times that they're living in. And it's like, oh, well, that's the real problem here. Let's shine some light on it. Who else is shining light on these years and years of problems that Puerto Rico is facing? Nobody. Absolutely no one was talking about Puerto Rico's landfills on an American stage until today. Years and years of nothing. So that was all done by one bad comic. And he was bad. I did not like the comedy. But from what I took from it, I did my research, I did my writing, and I was like, wow, what a court gesture. What a jerk. I didn't like him. But man, did I learn from him. And let me tell you, man, that's comedy. And like Steve Martin, when he had that great comedic album from the 70s, Comedy's Not Pretty, he was right on target, guys, because comedy can hurt. No other art form hurts as much as comedy. It's a drama. I'm sad. This is going. I'm gonna lose my lady. The musical. The hills are alive. You feel good or you feel bad. But comedy? And the thing with comedy is that you always know if that comedian is good or not. Like Chappelle, like Murphy, the king, the true kings of comedy. You always know that, man, they spoke to me. They hit it right on the money. This guy did not. However, he brought up a lot of good points.